Hello, everyone. My name is Chance, and today I am showing off this weapon system I've been working on for, let's say, about a month now. Um, Going into it, this whole system is built to be um, super modular, super reusable. I want people to be able to um, go into it, not have to worry about writing any code, just plug in the numbers, have it work. Um, I plan to, once I have everything finished up with it, which should be very shortly. I want to put it out on GitHub so everyone can go through, see the code, see just how modular it is, and if they want, implement it into their own projects. So let me just do a quick run through, showing you guys how it works. I have some pickups around me right now. These are supposed to be grenades and flashbangs. I just don't have models for them. So I'll pick up grenades. It's very inspired by Call of Duty, so that will be added to the grenade inventory. Um, pick up your flashbangs, they go in there. If I pick up, a set of grenades, it looks like I'm not doing anything. Trust me, there's grenades replacing grenades. You'll see it with the guns. Um, we can pick up our knife, and it'll switch us to the knife. We can start doing our melee attacks. Pick up a pistol, and what's cool is whenever you equip something like a pistol or another gun, you'll get the weapon name, the the ammo, but then you also get the fire modes, and you can cycle between your fire modes just like in, say, a Call of Duty or Battlefield. Right now we're in rapid fire, do our reload. Now we're in single fire, and it is dynamic, so it will respond to you if you're switching between a weapon that doesn't have all the other fire modes. And currently I have it set to a 2 weapon inventory. You can mess with that all you want, and it'll just keep expanding over there. So, right now, I have 3 weapons set up, all 3 fire modes. I have my throwables are not implemented to be able to be thrown yet, so I just have it that they can be removed from your inventory, but they don't have any actual like throwing or bouncing mechanics or anything like that. That's coming soon, and then my only other big issue right now stopping me is animations. So I have my melee. It does a little dash like how you'd see in like a Call of Duty. But animations are my big thing. That's my next priority to get fixed. I'm not super great with the animations. I haven't worked with them um, a ton. So if anyone has any good recommendations for first-person animation, tutorials or anything like that, or any good resources, please do send them to me because I need them. Don't send me any art programs though. I think my programmer art is out of this world, and if anyone wants to hire me for programmer art, I'm just not interested in that. I'm about making I'm about making games, not making not drawing. That's not what I'm doing here. Um, but anyways, all right. Sorry about that. My audio messed up for a second there. But yeah, um, with this whole system, I just wanted to take a few seconds to show. It is it's super easy to set up because nothing's actually built onto the player. So you don't have to worry about, if you have your own player set up, you don't have to go in and replace anything on there. The only things I do have in here are I was working on like a little team assignment through an interface and then being able to give people teams so that way you can track like, oh, I took damage. Did I take damage from an enemy? No. All right, don't take that damage. Um, but I figured for right now that that's sort of pointless. So you'll have a little Teams interface in here, but um, I'm trying to be more specific to just the weapon side of things. The only other thing I also added was a deal to track the X and Y look inputs as well as the movement inputs, and that was just to go with a little animation tutorial I was following. That'll probably get taken out depending on what I can get figured out with actually making some good looking first person animations. Um, but yeah, and then going into how the weapons actually work, they have their inventory, where we just track, here's our active weapon, here's our array of ranged weapons, here's our maximum number of ranged weapons. We have our lethal weapon, our tactical weapons, or our tactical throwables, and our lethal throwables. Um, and then everything is just sort of called through here. So you just call your active weapon, tell it, hey, do the primary action, do the secondary action, try reload if it's implementing that, all that stuff. So we're just casting everything to the weapon base, telling it, hey, do this. Weapon base has a bunch of child actors. All it worries about is the equip and unequip function because that's going to be pretty well universal. So then to go into an example of one of the child classes, you have your weapon ranged, and once you get in here, then you'll start setting some more unique variables, like your ammo, and implementing um, further, so that way primary action gets called from the inventory, cast into the weapon base. Well, now this expands upon what the weapon base had going on by doing try shooting, and then it does everything else from there. And all the code I've done is pretty well commented and tool tipped out, so it's going to be pretty easy for um, anyone to go in and sort of see what's going on with it. Um, but yeah, so once you have this set up, I mean, I'll have it set up for you in the Git. So you'll just make children a weapon base or weapon ranged if you want to make more guns. And if you need to do anything specific, kind of like, say, a shotgun, where it's they're shooting one line trace, or projectile, you're shooting multiple, well, you just make a child of the weapon ranged. You can make it like the shotgun parent, and you just override fire bullet and keep everything else the same. And it just sort of works out that way. So then, once you get down to an actual weapon, like, say, the 1911, there's no code in there. It's all just um, you give it the data asset, which I'll show you guys how to set up a data asset, um, and another part where I'll just show off how easy it is to make to add a new weapon with the system. And yeah, you give it the data asset, and that's done. And then if you want it in the world, you either can call say to spawn it and give it the owner and equip it, or you go to uh, a pickup, and the pickup all it has is um, this one's meant to be picked up or to be a pickup thing for weapons. So it spawns the weapon actor type that we're picking up, and then on interact, it adds it to the player's inventory, and there's a received new weapon thing. But at no point is the player directly interacting with weapons. There's no point the weapons are directly interacting with players. You're avoiding any kind of circular communication. It's just the inventory sort of handles managing the two, and then it's done. And then, yeah, it just works. And I also have a nice little interact system that's the very last thing I'll show off. It, does, it doesn't really play into the weapon system, but I made one anyways because, hey, every game needs, a good interact system. So you look at something, the interact pops up. You overlap with it, the interact pops up. If you're overlapping with two things, the closest one pops up unless you look directly at something, in which case that instantly becomes your highest priority interactable, and then it just works. But yeah, thank you guys for checking this out. I'll definitely be showing another further breakdown, show how easy it is to make a weapon with it, and then, like I said, I'll comment through all my code, or not through all my code. I'll write up a little design doc. I had already written one before I started, but of course, as you start implementing, things are going to change. So I need to go through, update that, and then go through to um, clean up some of the assets I don't own. Specifically, I just don't own the weapon assets, so those will have to get ripped out. The epic art in there was drawn by me though, so if anyone wants to use that artwork, just feel free, anytime. But yeah, and then I can put it out on GitHub, and hopefully, hopefully people enjoy it. But yeah, hope everyone's having a good day, week, year, night, whatever. And goodbye.